Welcome back. It's National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, and here to tell us all about it are Anjanette, Jen, and Kim. So welcome, ladies. Thanks for coming on. So first of all, remind people about the work that the Hospice Foundation of the Ozarks does.
Yes, so Hospice Foundation of the Ozarks, we award grant money to other nonprofits that deal with death and dying. And I thought it would be really great, because it's National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, to bring representation from the hospitals. So we've got Mercy and Cox here.
All on one couch.
Yes, and we've awarded them money, and so I thought this would be great. We've awarded grant money to them. I said, oh my God, they need to come and talk about it, because they're in the front lines of that. And so the difference between palliative and hospice care is, palliative care is if you are diagnosed with a disease, a life-threatening disease, eventually that might take your life. So you would want to get on palliative care, because you would have the resources to take care of the families, to get educated and have the patients being taken care of. And then hospice is for 6 months or less in diagnosis.
Okay, so why would you or loved one use hospice services?
Yeah, let me talk about that one, if that's okay. So, to me, the best way to kind of talk about this is to maybe tell a story, or how that can really come to life and work for these individuals. So a patient, maybe 72, has COPD, congestive heart failure, diabetes, all the things. And so they're in and out of the hospital all the time, and treatment's not really doing its thing. They're just getting tired and worn out. So hospice can come in. They can take care of those needs. A nurse comes in. It's a really sophisticated care team that consists of a medical director, a nurse, a social worker, chaplain. And so as those needs evolve over time, the team is there to take care of that. So for example, you know, when they first go home, that may look like durable medical equipment needs. And so it may start out as a walker. Eventually that may be a hospital bed or incontinence supplies. Hospice brings that to them. And so they don't have to, it's at home, whatever that looks like for them. It could be pain management. So as disease progresses, maybe they need help with pain. We can address that in real time at home. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's scariness. And so that care team is there to walk the journey.
Emotionally too, then.
Yes, answer all those questions. Spiritually, there's a chaplain that can address that. So there's this really full encompassing service that meets these individuals where they are. So when you ask about why hospice at a time that's really scary and uncertain and so many questions, there's a team, there's a really amazing people that can walk along with you through that journey. That's why hospice.
Yes. Now, when is the best time to start talking about hospice then?
Absolutely. So I'll take that one. So really with hospice, we really look at, you know, whenever that physician has that like they have that conversation about the terminal diagnosis. And so a lot of times that's in the clinic, but sometimes that's in the hospital. You know, a patient may have been admitted, and, you know, we're on this journey, you know, to get them the care that they need. And so really we want to set our patients up for success. So when they're in the hospital, before they ever go home, a lot of times that's when that conversation begins. And really looking at hospice, asking the question, what does the next 6 months to a year look like for this patient? Is that passing conversation, is that in that next 6 months to a year? And how do we get them and their family the resources that they need for them to be successful and to be comfortable at home in that time frame? So really it can be either.
Yeah, well, real quick, I mean, we're running short on time, but what are some of the myths behind hospice?
Yeah. So if you talk about all these amazing services, right, people are concerned about the out-of-pocket cost. And I think it's good for people to know that most of the time that's covered 100% by Medicare, by Medicaid. So there isn't that out-of-pocket. Commercial insurance can also provide that as well. And typically if there is a barrier in that way, the agencies are committed to working through that. We never want someone to not receive care because of cost.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming on. And as it's National Month for this, it's great to bring attention to it. And I'm sure that you have resources if people want more information. So how can they find you?
You can contact on our website, hospiceozarks.org, and we have all the information, but you can call us too. So please do that.
Thank you, ladies, so much for the information and for what you do for our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next, get an inside look at behind the scenes of last night's American Music Awards. We'll be right back.